Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the SimZone. We are here for round 5 of the Trackday Championship, and we are currently into, well, 10 minutes, almost 10 minutes into this qualifying session. We will just bring up the times there. So it's currently Savini on provisional pole with a 1:27.692. Fisher in P2, 3/10 off. Thomas in P3, 4/10 off. Very close between Fisher and Thomas in this qualifying session. In fact, just before we went live, it was Fisher in pole and Thomas in P2, just separated by 0.02 of a second. So extremely close in terms of lap time here. Ivanov in P4 with his best lap of 1:28.5. So the only driver into the 1:27s currently is Daniel Savini on provisional pole. We've got Matt Pryor currently in P13, up for an improvement at the moment, 0.3 up as he approaches the second chicane here. Now Zolder, as we know, land of the chicanes, there's non-stop chicanes here, and we've also got a hairpin at the end, so a very twisty circuit, much shorter circuit than what we usually have in the championship. Only, I believe it's only 1 point... I can't remember how long it is actually. 2.6 kilometers, yeah, that's it. 1.5 miles, around 1.5 miles, 2.6 kilometers. So much shorter than what we're used to. And of course, the lap times show that as well. 1 minute 27s compared to well, Laguna Seca last round is quite a short circuit as well, so lap times there weren't too long either. Looks like Pryor onto another lap here. His last lap he did improve, so 1:29.385 that last time out from Pryor. And we've got a few comments coming in as well, which is good to see. We've got, oh god, quite a few comments actually. We've got Perth, good to see you. We've got Steph Jake, we've got Jamie Redken, good to see you. Cass as well. We've got Ian Lintel, hello. Cody, DTJ, hello. Jan as well, good to see everyone. Jan saying glad he's missing Zolder. Drive-through would have been incoming. Let's start the karaoke. Oh god, let's not start the karaoke again. But let's see who else is up for an improvement here. Kaufman currently in P14. Now it's a shame, there's quite a few drivers who aren't able to attend due to work and other reasons. Of course, weather getting warmer and whatnot. People going on holiday as well. But there are actually, I think, there were 40 drivers signed up for this. So I think a few have withdrawn from the championship due to work schedules changes and whatnot. But I mean, we saw yesterday in the Moser Champ, even with not that many drivers, there was battles throughout the field. The bottom 4 or 5 drivers all battling in a train, and we had the top 4 or 5 drivers in a train as well. So it was really good battles throughout the field, and let's hope, I mean, judging by the qualifying times so far, I think it's possibly going to be something similar here. Toronto in P17, however, hasn't set a valid lap just yet. And before we go any further, let's take a look at the standings coming into this round. So Savini leading the championship on 310 points. Fisher in P2 obviously missed last round, but that'll be taken account, or already has been, into his drop round. So on 306 points, 4 points behind there, separating the top 2 there. Demori in P3 in the championships on 271 points. Ivanov in P4 on 265. Pagano in P5 on 263, so just 2 points separating P4 and P5. Ritbut in P6, who had a really good result in qualifying last time. Well, not last time. Well, at Laguna he did. He had a very good result there, and he had a good result yesterday as well in the Moser Championship, in qualifying at least, but did make a few mistakes during the race. But Thomas currently in P7 in the championship, 259 points. Bilotti P8, 252. Magazi 225 in P9. Sealy in P10, unable to make it today, on 222 points. Pfister on P11 on 219. Vining in P12 on 216. Rosford in P13 on 198 and Foch in P14 on 171. And looks like that is Patrick Ben there. I believe he made a bit of a mistake. Yep, he is on an invalid lap. TractionDave currently in P11, 8/10 up as he crosses the line. Where's this going to put him? P4 there for TractionDave. Really loving this new McLaren. It is much better than the old one. It's got some decent pace on quite a few circuits, and of course they've released it only yesterday, I think it was, they released it. Even the default aggressive setup on this McLaren is really good. Obviously they would have had to do some work on that to update the default setups. It is a new car, and I believe for the old cars the setups might still have 1.8 attributes, so they aren't as good as they used to be, but for this new McLaren it is quite good. And well, Dave proving that he's able to put some good times in with this McLaren, almost into the 127s here. 128.1, and oh, I was speaking too good of him. He's lost the car, and well, he's going to return that to the pits there. Bit of a shame, dropped it on the exit curve. I think maybe took a bit of grass as well. Demori currently down in P10, not usually where you see him, but he's 3/10 up on this lap. And well, this is his last chance to improve. Makes sure not to cut the chicane, but he's made a mistake there. He's lost 3/10 going through that chicane alone. And it's not looking likely that it will be an improvement for Demori, but down in P10, in fact, matching lap times with Vining there in P9. Both doing exactly at 128.612 here. And looking like Ivanov in P2 is just a 10th and a half off of Savini, so that's going to be quite a good battle there towards the top. Last time we saw Savini with not really much competition run away with the win. And Demori, yeah, no improvement this time around. Fisher 3/10 up. Oh, look how close it is there between Savini and Fisher. 900 separating the top two. Thomas is a 10th up. Let's see what he can do. Vining 2/10 up down in P10. That's possibly going to put him into P8. No, he's 4/10 up. Where's Vining? He's coming up towards... No, he's lost it on the hairpin. He's lost it on the exit of the hairpin. But Thomas exiting the hairpin now. 2/10 up here. Going to be quite close towards the end of this qualifying session. Looks like Ivanov, well, the top 3 into the pits. Thomas, really the only one here up for an improvement. 4/10 up. This could be pole here for Thomas as he exits the final corner. He's lost a 10th on the exit. Took too much curb, and he's going to cross the line. It's not going to be pole, but does improve. And there we have it. Top 3, Savini, Fisher, and Ivanov will be back in just a moment for the start of the race. Alright, we're back. We've got the drivers lining up on the grid. And, well, Savini on the front row lined up with Fisher in P2. Even though Thomas on the second row, Thomas so close there to having pole. That would have been such an amazing lap for Thomas, but took too much curb on the exit out of the final chicane. It bounced the car, traction control probably kicked in as a result. And that was pretty much it. We don't have Dave's car up for some reason. It's showing as blank, but he is in the new McLaren, so ignore that for now. I think we're gonna ACC TV, who is well, we use for our broadcasts, and the custom HUD and everything. I think they'll have to update that, but for now, just so you know, Dave is in the new McLaren. Let's get a quick track walk here before we get going for Zolder. So, Zolder, very narrow circuit. It's going to be difficult for the drivers to make any moves here. And they're going into turn 1. Quite an easy corner, turn 1, but then it starts to get quite difficult. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce any of these corner names. We've got the first chicane there into sector 2. So easy to make a mistake through there. Invalidate your lap as well. And then the second chicane as well, the Villeneuve chicane. Another place that is quite easy to get a track limit warning for, and even lose the car if you bottom out. And then sector 3, you've got the hairpin and the final chicane there to round off the lap. But here we go, we've got the drivers round for the formation lap now. We're going to get a quick grid walk as well with all the drivers we have on the grid. So Savini, as we saw, taking pole position, Fisher in P2, Ivanov in P3, Thomas in P4, and in fact in the top 5 we've got quite a mix of cars here. Dave in P5, Civilotti in P6, Hoorn's in P7, Mitbu in P8. Now there are quite a few Ferraris in this championship as well, not surprised. Vining P9, Demori P10. Oh, what's gone on here? There we go. Demori P10, Corsa P11, Fisterov P12, Van den Heuvel P13, then in P14, Pryor P15, Kaufman P16, and to round off the field, the Ronan in P17. So the drivers coming up towards the final sector now. They'll be lining up, double file, getting ready for the race start. Now both the Porsche and the BMW very quick on this track. Porsche obviously nimble, very agile, easy to get the nose turned in. That's the main attributes of the Porsche, and the acceleration out of the corners from that car, absolutely brilliant. Now the BMW as well, that massive rear wing on the back helps in the high downforce circuits, and it definitely excels in circuits like these. There we go, we've got the drivers lining up side by side now. We've got a few more comments coming in. We've got DD saying we need a Porsche Cup, maybe for the off season we can do a Porsche Cup. We've got the Priya saying Ferrari needs 200 kg ballast. 20. Steph saying crossing my fingers for a clean start. Lord Pearl saying where's the McLaren logo? Yeah, it needs to be updated. It's just come out. But here we go. We should be green any moment. And who's going to get the jump into turn 1? Savini's on the inside. And we are green there. Savini off to a good stop. Pulls towards the outside there. He's going to open up turn 1 for himself. Ivanov defending against Thomas into turn 1 as well. We'll get a quick helicam of all the action on the grid. Looks like we've had a few position changes, finding up a position there. It looks like he might lose a position on the inside to Demori. Looks like, oh, Civilotti's facing the wrong... No, who's that? That's Dave. Dave facing the wrong way. It looks like he lost it on the exit. Demori being caught up in that as well. And Dave had such a good qualifying position, but just dropped it on the exit curb. And we've seen him do that in the qualifying session as well. It's dropped him right down to P17. What a shame there for Dave. But I think It may have been caught up in that. No, he wasn't actually. He gained a position, but it looks like, oh no, I think he's got some damage from that actually. Look on the front splitter and on the rear diffuser there, and it may have even cut the track slightly going through that second chicane. So he's got to be wary of track limits. Does fit through. But back to the race leader, Savini already pulling away from Fischer here. Fischer having to fend off Ivanov so early on into the race. They're not going to want to be battling this early on. They're losing heaps of time to Savini already. He's pulled almost a second to Fischer in P2. Let's look down towards Fornes in P6. He is fighting Civilotti there. I thought that was actually Civilotti lost the car into turn 2, but it wasn't. It was indeed Dave, and we will bring up a replay. I know Piroth in the comments is going to say we need a replay. Van den Heuvel challenging Pryor here. We've got a bit of a train, still early doors in this race, so all the drivers are going to be quite bunched up. Redken saying, Dave always has bad luck, man, great driver, but always has bad luck. Yeah, unfortunately he ran a bit too wide on the exit of turn 2, not onto the curb, I think maybe even onto the grass, and that just lost the rear, and that was over for him. But Demori down in P16 now. He started much further up the field in P10. He's got some work to do. He's not too far off the pack though. He is catching up to Turonen already, so he's making some progress after that incident. It's just going to be damage limitation for him now. Oh, in fact, it was actually a bit of contact into turn 1. I'm just watching it back, but we will bring that up for you guys in just a moment. So let's quickly look down to this battle for P9. Den currently in P9 in the Porsche, finding behind Pryor behind that, Van den Heuvel and Kaufman and Cosford actually all in a bit of a train or battle of their own. Cosford not the best start to the race, dropping 3 positions. I think he may have been caught up in that slight incident into turn 2 as well. Yeah, it was a slight bit of contact. It looks to be a bit of a racing incident actually, I'm not sure. But we'll leave that one to the stewards, of course. There we go, Demori now past Turonen, and let's bring up a replay of what happened to Dave here. So you can see coming into turn 1 perfectly fine here. Let's actually quickly go back to this battle for P2 as well. But coming up towards turn 2, he's got Civilotti on the inside. Still on the inside here, so I think Dave, I don't know, I think they didn't leave enough room for each other, and that was absolute carnage there. Luckily, I think only 2 or 3 drivers getting involved in that afterwards. But shame for ACC contact physics as well. That was the most minor tap between the two, and I think that was, I mean, they could have easily got through there cleanly. I think maybe it might have been a bit of a racing incident. I think either driver could have given each other a bit more room. But down to P10 we go. Den now side by side with Pryor here. Pryor losing a position to Den. Oh, in fact, he's still got the inside through the final part of the chicane, but now he's lost it. He's had to drive over the grass slightly, and Van den Heuvel is going to get past as well. So Pryor losing 2 positions there in one corner, and I think Kaufman might get past as well. He will. So Pryor losing 3 positions all at once just because of a bad exit out the final corner. And looks like Kaufman looking for a move down the inside of Van den Heuvel. Is he going to get it done? No, Van den Heuvel taking the long way around to hold on to that position. Even though Fischer still battling here in P2 and P3, but Savini is checked out already. 1.7, no, 2.5 seconds actually away from the field. Let's see, where is Ivanov? There we go, and Fischer. We've got them up on our secondary screen now as well. We've got Contentnow. Philip, good to see you. Jan saying racing incident. Redken saying racing incident. Yeah, it was a bit. It was quite close between the two there. But that's what stewards are for at the end of the race, of course. Dave now on the back of Cosford's dropped down even more, actually. He's down into P16 now, so he's not had a great start to this race whatsoever. I think he may have binned it on his own once more. Let's quickly have a look. He's still got that damage from before. Doesn't seem to be any worse. But Dave's making his way back up the field. Look at that damage on Dave's car, though. I mean, this could have been such a good race for him, but it's a good sign to see that Dave's got some serious pace here. Thomas in P4, losing a bit of time to Fisher and Ivanov P2 and P3, but they are battling now. And Thomas, I think, will be able to catch up if they continue to battle, or battle even harder than they are now. They don't seem to be doing that just yet. They're following each other at the moment. It's only 7 minutes into the race, and we know if you battle too hard early, the rest of the field catches right up. We go back to Van den Heuvel, who is right in the back of Den here, pulls towards the inside, but backs out of their move. Nowhere to go through this chicane. So narrow, this part of the circuit. And you can see in the wing mirror there of Van den Heuvel, he's got that bright yellow Ferrari. You just about see him in a sort of in the is it in the blind spot? No, not really, but no, he's not in the blind spot. But Vitvoot's dropped down the order. And down into P14 goes Vitvoot. What's happened there to him? He's facing the wrong way. Oh no, I think he's lost the car into the chicane. And that's severe damage. I wouldn't be surprised if that's him out of the race. I think he lost it on his own there. Yeah, I think he did. Unfortunately, that chicane very deadly, especially if the car's so low already. You tend to run the car quite low on the front as it is. And I think, yeah, retiring from the race, I think that caught him out there. Let's take a quick look at what happened to Vitvoot through the chicane. Yeah, just seemed to go straight on, actually. That was a very odd incident there from Vitvoot. Maybe an error with his wheel. Oh no, I'm really not sure what happened there. It's a very odd incident. And we can see here, coming down towards the second chicane, he seems to just go straight on. The first curb he took way too much, got a bit of oversteer I think, but yeah, just wasn't able to slow down enough. But I reckon it was a very odd accident, but that was severe damage there from him. And well, if that was in real life, he definitely wouldn't be able to continue sim racing. He probably could have, but unfortunately decided to retire the car. But that would have been serious repairs in the pits anyways. Let's go back to Dave, P16, who's sticking with Cosford now. These two are going to work together to try and catch back up to the rest of the field. And Kaufman has lost 3 positions now. Kaufman, is he in the wall? He's down in the, oh god. He is at the back of the field now. Looks like there was a bit of contact between the 72 car Pryor and Kaufman in the 26. Oh god, we're going to need infinite replays here just to see what happened. We're going to have to bring up another replay. God, it's non-stop replays here. I need a dedicated replay man to help us out. Let's have a look. What happened with Pryor and Kaufman? That hairpin is an easy place to outbrake yourself. I think that may have been what happened to the two. I mean, those 4 drivers, Den, Van den Heuvel, Kaufman and Pryor, were so close. And yeah, it looked like, oh, it might have been a bit of a racing incident between the two, actually. I'm stewarding here while I'm not actually stewarding, but I won't say a word. I'll let you guys watch and be the judge of that. Oh no, it's not a racing incident. Oh no, I've just seen it from the heli view. It's not a racing incident. It's a Pryor making a massive mistake. But Cosford dropping back even more. He's made another mistake here. Cosford really struggling with the car now. After that damage, you can see that Kaufman driving straight over the chicane, struggling to get the car turned in now. After the damage he has picked up. But Zolder causing some issues here for some drivers. Let's bring up the replay now. So coming up towards the hairpin then. surprise attack, yeah. So Pryor very late on the brakes, looks towards the inside, and now Kaufman is already turning in for the corner there. Tapped him round. I think that's going to be a penalty there for Pryor. But good to see Kaufman continuing with the race. He didn't pick up too much damage when he looked back to Van den Heuvel and Den, who had, of course, Pryor and Kaufman on the back of these two. And in fact, I've just seen Ivanov ahead of Fischer now. So he's got past, and Fischer losing time lap after lap to Fischer, in fact, to Ivanov. And Fischer, in fact, made a bit of a mistake. He got the rear out going through this chicane that we see Van den Heuvel and Den going through. And that gap's now up to 1.5 seconds, so really losing some time. And in fact, Den's got a poor exit there, and Van den Heuvel's going to get the move done even before the braking zone. There we go, gets ahead, and up into P9 goes Van den Heuvel. Great move there, capitalising on the bad exit that Den had through that first chicane. And up he goes. Now he's going to try to catch Vining in front. Vining a long way in front though in P8 here. About 6.5 seconds before they reach the braking zone. Concertina effect is going to constantly change that gap. Looks like Dave on the back of Turunen now. Turunen going defensive, back over to the racing line. Dave looking for a move up the inside here. Is he going to be late on the brakes? No, he's not. He's going to back out of that, focus on the exit. Turunen gone a bit too narrow there for the second part of the chicane, and Dave has got a good exit here, but he's on the outside of turn 1. If he can get his car slightly ahead into the braking zone, he should be able to hold it around the outside of turn 1, have the inside for turn 2, and there we go, he's got it done. Brilliant move from Dave around the outside there. And up into P13 he goes. Turunen, judging by his lap times, about 2 seconds a lap slow. I don't think he's going to be able to keep up with Dave here, even with that damage that TractionDave has on his car. But for Dave, Demori, 6.5 seconds up the road, going to be difficult to catch him. And well, I think he's going to have to repair that damage in the pits if he wants his pace to improve. He's currently lapping in high 29s, so not really the pace he wants to be lapping in at the moment. Fischer catching back up slowly to Ivanov, but let's see what they've done this last lap. So they crossed the line. Ivanov, that last lap was a 27.9, Fischer was a 28.1, so 0.2 slower there for Fischer. And you can see Thomas in the background now slowly reeling in Fischer here. That last lap, actually no, sorry, he's losing time still to Fischer. That last lap from Thomas was a 28.7. It just looked like when it came down to about a second that he was actually catching. Looking at Demori down in P12, he's closing the gap to Matt Pryor now. This could be quite an interesting battle. Demori, Pryor, and Den bunching up once again here. Oh, that was a rhyme and a half there. And Demori was about a couple tenths quicker than both drivers in front, but it's going to need a bit more than that to really close the gap here. You can see in front Van den Heuvel not far ahead, although after that overtake he made on Patrick Den, he's been able to pull 2 seconds from the Porsche of Den. Lopez saying Cosford replay. No, we've had too many replays already. Lee, if you want to help me with replays, that would be much appreciated. I don't think you have a PC though, so no, I need a replay, man. There's so much action going on, we can't capture it all. And maybe towards the end of the race we can get a little highlights reel that I might put up at the end. So stay tuned for that. If I can get it up, then we will definitely bring that up, so you can miss any action. Well, any action missed will probably be caught on that highlights reel at the end of the race. Looks like Kaufman now on the back of Turunen as well, trying to defend his position. This is where he lost the position to Dave the previous lap, but he's once again gone a bit too narrow there. And look at the exit, he's not had a good exit whatsoever. And Kaufman is going to look towards the outside, mirroring pretty much exactly what Dave did. And is he going to get this one done though? Turunen has the inside line. No, it's not going to be able Kaufman's not going to be able to do it, but can he go for a switchback? Turonen going defensive up towards turn 2. No, in fact, he's going to try and go the long way around. And is he going to get it done? I think he's got it done. Turonen's still on the inside. Are they still side by side here? Yes, they are. And Kaufman is going to need to try and go around the outside once again. But no, Turonen has kept his nose in. And I think they're still side by side. Oh my God. And surely one of them is going to have to back out into the next corner. I think Turonen on the outside here. No, Kaufman backs out. Surprisingly, Kaufman backs out of the move, and he's losing heaps of time here behind Turonen. But brilliant defensive driving here from the Aston Martin driver, and what a view we've got. We can barely see anything in this rear view, in the rear view from the Aston. You can just about see the Ferrari. I guess that's all that matters now. It's not a great view there from the Aston Martin. But here we go, Turonen looking for a move. Sorry, Kaufman looking for a move into the hairpin. Turonen's going to have to leave the room. And there we go. Job's done there for Kaufman. But look how much time he's lost. He's 8 seconds behind Dave here. Lots of time to be made up. Let's go back to Demori. Still not able to catch up to Pryor. Look how close these drivers get towards that pit wall. Going into turn 1, opening up the corner as much as they can, and Van den Heuvel has made a mistake. He's lost the position now to Den. So Den back up ahead of Van den Heuvel, and surely these drivers are definitely making it interesting here for us. Even though the battle for, well, the top 3 has spaced out, we've still got the pits to go, and that usually spices things up as well. StefJet saying that was some amazing racing. Report saying highlights sounding great. Jamie Redken saying doing well considering he has damage. I believe that's about Dave. Yeah, about Dave. Yeah, he's doing well. Cosford into the pits early on here. So even before the pit window is opened, Cosford is into the pits. Is he carrying damage? I think he's repaired it now. Maybe he's returned to garage there. What a shame for Cosford. But Savini leading the race now, 6.2 seconds ahead of Ivanov in P2. Ivanov has pulled away from Fischer, as we've seen, and Fischer, it's got a bit of a gap to Ivanov now. He's got a gap to Thomas behind him as well, so not really anything to worry about just yet. We'll go back to Van den Heuvel, who is closing back in on Den, and Demori now on the back of Pryor as well. So this could be another 4-car battle if Van den Heuvel and Den get close enough to start battling. But the 2 drivers behind, Pryor and Demori, definitely catching up already. Even despite Van den Heuvel, well, even though Van den Heuvel and Pryor aren't, sorry, Van den Heuvel and Den aren't battling just yet. So let's see if we can get an onboard with some of these drivers on. In this battle. Van den Heuvel looks for a move down the inside, tries to sell Den the dummy. In fact, it works slightly. Den misses the apex by about a meter or 2 there, and Van den Heuvel's got a great run out of the hairpin. He's not going to be alongside though for the final chicane. Has to brake early to make the apex. And let's see, on board now with Patrick Den here, and on board on the right hand side with Demori in P12. Lord Cross saying unlucky Cosford. Yeah, still in the pits. I think that's probably his race ever. Maybe he might go back out on track, but I highly doubt it. If he does, he has a good chance of picking up some points, even for P16. But I think P16 will probably be his worst finish of the season so far. So that will most likely count towards his drop round, I believe. And look how late on the brakes Demori is there, but taking the chicane all wrong, and he's lost all that position, all that time he made up on the braking. Den there with a poor entry into the chicane. He's going to have a poor exit as well, but Van den Heuvel nowhere to go. So narrow, as we know. But I'm good at rhyming today. But Van den Heuvel, is he going to look for a move down the inside here? He is, and I think he's going to get it done. No, he's not. Den holding around the outside, but forced slightly wide there. They're going to be side by side going up towards the final chicane. Demori and Pryor catching right up to these two now, but Den's got the inside line, and I think they're still going to be side by side. Yes, they are. A bit of contact between the two, but Van den Heuvel had the line, and there we go. Upper positioning goes. Pryor into the pits. I think very strategic call there from Pryor. Doesn't want to get involved in battling, and he's got a very good chance for an undercut here. Looks like Dave into the pits. A wise decision there from him to repair the damage as soon as possible. Kaufman likewise into the pits, and Tyrone all in the pits. So the bottom, what's that? P12 to P15. Obviously Cosford has been sat in the pits for a while here, but Demori now getting past again, and there we go. Upper position goes Demori as well. But now that Pryor's made an early pit stop, a very early pit stop actually, he is going to be on the second set of tyres for much longer than the majority of drivers, and especially these three who he was battling with, Den, Demori and Van den Heuvel. But if they continue to battle, he's got a brilliant chance of an undercut. And track position, as we've seen, is so important, because it's not easy to overtake here. And Demori deep into the hairpin. That's going to allow Den to close back up. And Demori was on the back of Van den Heuvel, but he's lost time, made a bit of a mistake. And will we see him dive into the pits now? No, he won't. Continuing out, but he's got that front splitter damage. So maybe what's making it more difficult for him to turn into the corners. We've got Jan saying Luciano's screen froze. Oh god. Yeah, Jan. I think yeah, good attempt. But that's such a shame. But that's that's a bit of a shame for Cosford and Vitroots. But yeah, that's part of sim racing, I guess. Screen freezes. Of course, shouldn't really be happening. And looking at Dave now, he's returned his, repaired his damage and served his pit stop. He's behind Tyrone, so he's got to make that position once again. And let's have a look at if he can do it here, or when he can do it, because he was able to do it quite easily into turn one round the outside last time round, eyeing up a move down the inside there into the final chicane. And can he get it done? Can he replicate what he did last time? In fact, I think it's going to be a bit easier. Oh no, it looks to be quite similar. Getting a bit of deja vu here. And looking at Demori, in fact, he's really close to the back of Van den Heuvel here. And oh my god, it's exactly the same. Dave has done the exact same move that he did on Toronto last time round. I mean, hey, if it's not broken, don't fix it. He's repeated that. He knew it was going to work. He knew it worked last time, so he did it again. And there we go. Ahead of Toronen into turn one round the outside. Let's go back to this this battle now between Van den Heuvel, Demori, and well, Den's dropped a bit now to these two. Demori keeping Van den Heuvel honest here at this stage in the race. Of course, if Demori does repair his damage, he's might be behind Den, but if it's going to be beneficial for him to repair that damage and it gives him some more pace in the second stint, then I don't think he'll have too much trouble getting the move done on track. We've got Fisher now into the pits, for a fairly early pit stop compared to his rivals. And whoa, that was Demori flying into the pits there. So he's into the pits now. Van den Heuvel in clean air, so got no trouble whatsoever. So I assume he's going to keep it out for long, but tyre wear obviously an issue. The track temp and ambient temp isn't too bad, so I don't think tyre wear is going to be as bad as it would be. Oh no, I spoke too soon. Van den Heuvel in the rear out there, so maybe a bit too eager on the power, trying to push and make sure these laps count here. But yeah, it's not too hot, the track. I think if it was a bit hotter, well, then off in the background then into the gravel. If it was a bit hotter, I think tyre wear would be much worse. But as we know in 1.9, obviously tyre wear is already as bad as it is compared to 1.8. The drivers have to manage their tyres much more, which I actually quite like, because that's what it is. That's what you have to do in real life as well. You have to really manage those tyres. Not so much in 1 hour races like this, but if you do abuse the tyres, you will find that you lose lots of pace on circuit. And like Van den Heuvel's been getting the rear out a few times into some of these corners, the temps are going to be higher than usual, and he pulls the trigger now. Into the pits he goes. Let's hope he doesn't speed into the pits there. Nope, gets stopped I think just in time. Into the pits he goes, and of course entering the pits, another chicane. But yeah, so for the drivers in this championship, if they do of course win the championship, this is the track where they'll be driving the Porsche GT4 car. So getting their practice in now, I guess. But yeah, it's going to be a great experience, and I might even join, if possible. I might even join the winner there at Zolder as well. And what's happened to Demori? Has he retired from the race as well, or has he had a game crash? I'm not sure what's up. Demori is running in such a good position. He's not in the race anymore. We're down to only 14 drivers. God, that's not a lot whatsoever. But we've got a lot of people watching anyways. We've got yeah, Cosford saying Luciano DNF screen freeze. They got killed in lap 1 and then died on the curb. Unfortunate there. Then Jan saying, better I don't win this. 200,000 euros in the wall. Yeah. I mean, Jan, considering your nickname is the wall, I'd assume you'd be staying. Actually, I don't know. Would you be staying away from them, or would you be? Well, I can't even speak. Would you be getting close to them? I don't know. But here we go. Den into the pits. We've got quite a few drivers into the pits now. Let's go back to Van den Heuvel, P11. I am surprised what happened to Demori though, because he was on for a decent result. All he had to do is repair the damage, but I'm not sure if it was an issue with the game or if he selected the wrong thing in the pit stop. Really odd there. But Demori, we haven't seen him DNF from a race in ages, but today something spooky is going on here. I'm not sure. We've had a screen freeze from Luciano, and then Demori's just disappeared into thin air, so not sure if you've got some aliens abducting the drivers. But looking at Civilotti on the back of Thomas now, 1.3 seconds separating those two. Let's go to Civilotti. These two are going to be quite close, I think, after a few laps. Civilotti's got some decent pace in his second stint. The top two now into the pits, Den into the pits as well. So Den's out on track. He's exiting that pit lane very, very close. Those barriers, and those are the solar panels that we don't want to see. There we go. There's Den emerging out of the pits. But look how much time he's lost. Still 4 seconds, almost 4 seconds behind Van den Heuvel. Loads of time lost there for Den. But Pryor staying ahead of Van den Heuvel. Let's bring up the pit stop times in just a moment after Vining and Fisterol serve their pit stops. Red Ken saying Thomas had some screen flickers. I wonder why. Really, maybe it's an issue with Zolder in the new update. Obviously, the new McLaren being brought out. Maybe the new McLaren's got an issue. I'm not sure. I haven't actually tested it yet myself. But if it is, hopefully they bring out a patch. I mean, Kunos are really good at bringing out patches as quickly as possible on PC, so I'm sure if there is an issue, it'll be sorted out very, very quickly. Finding that out of the pits, he is about 4 seconds in front of Hoorn, is in P8 here. But driver spaced out slightly. Savini now with an 8.6 second lead to Ivanov. Red Ken saying server issue, ACC, and yeah, could be. There usually is with ACC after a new update is released, isn't there? But actually, it's weird because yesterday we had our race, and usually the server flicks over from qualifying to race in about 3 minutes, but it took about 7 minutes to flick over. So I have no idea, possibly to do with the new update. And looking at this battle now, Pryor having to fend off Vanden Heuvel. Vanden Heuvel trying to look the long way around. In fact, he's got the inside going into the chicane, still side by side here. Both drivers leaving a little room for each other, but Vanden Heuvel stuck his nose in there, and Pryor's still on the outside now. I think Vanden Heuvel's going to have this one done, and there we go. Look how close they are, bumper to bumper here, but Vanden Heuvel going extremely defensive. Pryor on the outside. Can he get this move done around the outside here? Not an easy place to get it done the long way around, and no, he slots back in, but Vanden Heuvel under a lot of pressure now. Even though he has made that overtake, Pryor is fighting hard to get this back and looks for a move down the inside into the final chicane, but can't get it done there. And Vanden Heuvel secures P9 for now, but Pryor's not going to let him get away easily whatsoever. Fisher isn't able to catch up to Ivanov here. It's been quite a lonely race between the top 5. Usually we see them very, very close. I mean, at least in the last couple rounds, they've been so close. Of course, Savini didn't have as much competition at Laguna Seca, but P2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, are really close in the previous race. Jan saying Demori retired due to too much damage in turn 1. That's a shame. I think he could have continued, and Pryor looking for another move on Vanden Heuvel. I reckon he could have continued. He was running well. Don't think there was any reason for him to retire there. So he could have repaired that damage. I mean, he was sticking with Vanden Heuvel, but shame there for Demori. That will go towards his drop round, of course. But yeah, there's so much in terms of sim racing going on at this time of year, and I think it's just in terms of not many drivers attending. We've had drivers with work schedules, drivers getting ill, drivers going on holiday, whatnot. It's just this time of year, I think, where maybe for next year we'll think about running fewer championships in this time of year. Maybe we'll combine a few of them, but I mean, last season in the early months of 2023 we had pretty much every championship completely, well, nearly full, which was quite a good thing. But nevertheless, the drivers have put on a great show for us in all championships, which is lovely to see. Red Ken saying you try again next season. Yeah, we are thinking of doing splits. In fact, it's just a bit difficult because we'd have to run them on different days. So we are thinking of doing, I mean, it has been suggested, I can't get my words out today, suggested by a few of you guys, but the only thing is, if we run it on different days, some drivers won't be able to attend on one day and they would be able to attend on another. But I'm sure the I think in the winter time we should be able to do something like that. I think towards the summer, like this time of year, we might limit it. But of course, this is only our second season running 4 or 5 championships all at once. Hey, you got to risk it, I guess. Got to take those risks, and well, it paid off last season. I mean, it's paid off this season as well. We've got some brilliant drivers on the grid, and we've had. I really can't speak today. Someone needs to help me. We've had some great racing as well. Stuart saying, can you run a PC league for the slower people? Yeah, we are. I think we are definitely going to do some sort of split for next season. I mean, our next season is going to be in September, so a long time. So lots of time to sort out things like splits and whatnot. Maybe we'll do some sort of hot stint, or I think if we're not able to get a server up to do that, we will let drivers choose which split to go in, and we will of course bring up the times in which each split should be aiming for, so drivers will self-assign themselves, which could be easier on our part, but I mean, we'll see. We will have to see. I think splits, divisions, tiers, whatever you want to call them, is definitely the way to go. I think as well it might rate. Oh my god, I should not be commentating anymore. I should not be commentating anymore. I think as well it will probably bring the racing even closer if you've got all the drivers on equal level on the same field, and it will make it 10 times cleaner as well. So yeah, I think that is the way to go forward for next season, and we'll just see how to run that. But yeah, Pryor on the back of Van den Heuvel. Van den Heuvel made that move earlier on, but hasn't really been able to pull away too much. These two both been lapping 1:29.5s. Fischer, we haven't really talked about the top 3 too much apart from the start of the race. Savini's almost pulled a 10-second lead here to Ivanov for the fastest up of the race, a 1:27.680 there from Savini. Fischer has actually been closing up to Ivanov now. That last lap, Fischer was, what's that, 5/10, half a second quicker. So in the later stages of this race now, into the, well, nearly into the final 20 minutes, Fischer could have a good chance of closing up to Ivanov. Maybe the tyres on that Ferrari starting to give in now, and he's losing some time here, lap after lap. We could see these two very, very close towards the end, and 20 minutes on a set of tyres, not well, it's quite a long time. It's not easy to manage them either. Pryor once again closing back up to Van den Heuvel. The gap between these two coming almost down under a second. That last lap, once again, very similar lap time. It's 29.1 for the both of them. FJX saying I'm getting a stroke on stream. Don't worry, I'm not. Rahul saying more divisions would be nice for us slower drivers. Yeah. Yeah, we definitely do divisions and splits, or whatever you want to call them, for next season. I think we'll have the highest prizes being the highest split, and the lower prizes being, well, in terms of value, lower prizes being the lower splits, which makes sense, I guess. It's pretty much similar to what AOR do. They have splits on each day. They're of course been running for over 10 years or something now. AOR have, I think. Anyone know exactly how long they've been running for? Apex Online Racing. I think it's over 10 years. I'm sure it's even longer than that, actually. But yeah, they've been running for a long time, and we're only into our... Well, we've been up for a year and a... Well, actually nearly 2 years now. Yeah, nearly 2 years. When did we start? We started, I think, July, August time? Did we? Yeah, we started July, August time in about 2021. Well, that 2 years has gone really quickly. But, yeah, back to the racing, just briefly. Fischer still has got that 3-second gap to Ivanov, although he is consistently quicker than Ivanov each lap. That last time round he was 2/10 quicker. He's going to need a bit more than that to close in the gap to Ivanov, but I think if he's consistently quicker, oh, he doesn't want to be making mistakes like that though. The BMW becoming a bit of a bunny rabbit there, bouncing over those curbs, and in fact he's lost time by doing that. This lap he's half a second down. Just goes to show how much time you can lose by making one slight error through that chicane. I'm sure the tyres on the BMW now not keeping up well. You can see the rear end stepping out ever so slightly as well. Well, it is a lovely livery there from Fischer. Really lovely livery, and Savini as well in the Porsche. Starting to lap some traffic now. He's got past Kaufman in P12 prior, losing time now to Van den Heuvel. 2.3 seconds separating those two. As Steph J saying, 2-year anniversary event. Yeah, I'll have to find out exactly when we started. I don't actually know. It was around July, August time, I think. I believe so. Yeah, I think it was around that time. And we've made it a very long way since then. But oh, Ivanov's made a mistake! Oh, this could get interesting. Fischer now right in the back of Ivanov. In fact, he's going to get past. He's going to sail past him here. And there we go. Fischer up into P2. Ivanov with a huge mistake. Has lost the position now. This is going to bring these two very close together. And we might see quite an interesting battle for P2 here. Things can go from 0 to 100 really quick. That was very unexpected for Ivanov. I see him just bounced over the chicane a bit too much and lost the car. Let's try and have a look at what happened to Ivanov here that last lap. Yep, he did. Oh god. There's a huge mistake there from Ivanov. So he's just got the helicam here as he goes up towards the first chicane. I think he carries a bit too much speed, maybe a bit too much curb as well. Oh, gets a rim out on entry. Oh, that's interesting. Don't usually see that. Maybe brake bias is an issue, or just stayed in the brakes, or jumped off the brakes in fact a bit too early. That's usually what happens. But oh my god, both of these drivers taking liberties here with the curbs, and it's surely going to end badly for one of these two if they continue to do that, because that's going to cause some issues for the drivers. We've seen Fischer almost losing the rear as well going through there, but Ivanov invalidating that this lap, so possibly a track limit warning there for him as well. Barth saying he doesn't have pace either, but if he's staying out of trouble, you can finish in decent places. Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, you had decent pace. Was it yesterday? Where was Imola? When did we do Imola? Was that on Wednesday? I think he had some really good pace there. I think he finished P9, top 10. Oh, I can't remember this. I can't actually remember now. I think it was a top 10 finish. I believe it was. Here we go, let's go our split screen up to onboard with Ivanov on the right hand side. We've got the rear wing cam of Fischer on the left. These two are the closest on track at the moment. Ivanov is going to have to really try and push now these final 14 minutes to catch back up. There we go, through the chicane. He's gained a bit more time on Fischer. Look how late Ivanov is into the second chicane. He's closed that gap right down. It says 4/10. Looks to be slightly less. There we go, 3/10 now. Ivanov is back on it. Thing is, it's quite easy. Oh, I say it's quite easy. It's easier to follow a driver rather than lap on your own. And look at that. Ivanov getting so close on the braking, but I think has to delay getting on the throttle because Fischer is in front of him. If you got on the throttle any earlier, he'll be making contact. And also, you've got the concertina effect. The car in front brakes earlier. Well, the car in front brakes while you're still accelerating. And you can see it much more in faster cars like F1 cars, prototypes, LMP cars, things like that. But it is also noticeable in things like GT3s as well, which is exactly what we're seeing at the moment. And you can see there on the exit of turn 2, Fischer using a lot more curb to help him maximise his exit speed, but Ivanov maybe a bit tentative going through turn 2. You can see the rear is a bit loose on that Ferrari, and we saw him lose it coming down into the first chicane a couple laps ago. Oh, Jan saying P9 to P9, yeah, nice. Stuart saying, oh yeah, P9 at Donington there as well. Jan saying he loves the rain, yeah, I love rain races as well. They are absolutely brilliant. Steph saying, same for me around Brands, had an incident on lap 1, but for the rest of the race had some decent pace and ended up P6. I just not make any errors. Yeah, especially on tracks like that, at Brands and even Zolder today, it's about staying consistent, as we've seen, because there's not much room for error on these tracks. I think consistency is really the main thing to improve first. Pace will come afterwards, but in my opinion, consistency, lapping within a couple tenths each lap is most important. And in fact, we've got another battle going on now. We've got Kaufman on the back of Den. So this is, I tell you, we always get battles towards the end of the end of the race. And Den with a mistake, and that's going to allow Kaufman right past there. Similar mistake to what we saw Ivanov make. Oh my God, Ivanov has just jumped over the chicane once again. Let's hope he doesn't pick a... in fact, that was still within track limits, so he got lucky there. But let's hope he doesn't pick up a track limit warning. Look how quick the entry speed was there from Ivanov, but he's lost it on the exit once again. The gap between these two still 4/10, half a second. And you can see actually, is that the top two coming to lap them? It looks like it is. It looks like, no, not the top two, P2 and P3, Fischer and Ivanov, approaching some traffic now, so this could get even more interesting than it already is. And for Den, well, he's going to have to make some time back up to Kaufman. We know the tyre wear on those Porsches quite uneven. The rears like to get more wear than the fronts. But he's closing that gap already, back down to 1 second. Yeah, I'd say that's the point. You don't have to be fast out. The trouble, same in endurance. Yeah, endurance is even more important to be consistent. Much more important to be consistent in endurance racing. The more consistent you are, the less mistakes you make. the higher you'll finish. It goes hand in hand, really, because, I mean, drivers lose concentration in endurance races very easily. You can sort of get into what I like to call autopilot, where there's just driving around sort of in the zone, but it's easy to make mistakes while doing that as well. But yeah, consistency, in my opinion, comes first. Pace comes afterwards. I mean, you eventually build pace once you build consistency anyways, so... But I mean, for a lot of the drivers that aren't higher level, or in the top level like some of these drivers are on this grid, I think racing lines are so important. Even though a lot of drivers think, oh, they've got the correct racing line, they know what they're doing, the majority of time they're not actually taking the right lines. And I've noticed this so often, and oh my god, this is going to be a bit of a change in position here between these two. And in fact, Ivanov bounced over the chicane. He did slightly cut that chicane though, but Fischer made a huge error. There could be a bit of controversy with between those two after that move. They're approaching Den now. Looks like Dave has got the move on Den, so up into P12 goes Dave, but they've got some traffic now to deal with. Den moving well out the way here, not wanting to get involved in this battle, so good on him. Losing, well, he lost hardly any time by doing so, so brilliant pace for Den to actually move out the way there. But, oh, he's into the pits. Oh, I think it's a drive-through penalty for Den. Let's have a look. It is. Oh, no. What a shame for Den. I don't know why, but I find it so amusing when you see a car whizzing in the background to go into the pits. I don't know. I have no idea why, but it's quite funny for me. But, yeah, still, Ivanov and Fischer neck and neck here. And like I said earlier, if they're taking liberties into that first chicane, and it's come off worse for Fischer, just taking a tad too much curb, and you can see it unsettled the car. But they've got some more traffic to deal with here. And there we go, drive through cleared for Den. Yolanda saying position 8 you'd like to see. Yeah, we'll take a look at them on our second screen. You don't want to go off of this battle here between the top two. No, Fischer's got a drive through. Oh no, Fischer's got a drive through penalty. He's just picked that up in the previous chicane that we've just gone through, and that's pretty much it for Fischer. He's going to drop down the order. I think he might even lose a position to Thomas here. It's not a very long pit lane. Is he going to serve it this lap? Yep, into the pits he goes, and in fact, all bouncing over the grass there, but he's got the car slowed down just in time. But what a shame. And oh, Den's lost the car. Den's lost the car. He's facing the wrong way. He's facing, oh, he's stopped in the middle of the track, got nowhere to go. In fact, he's returned the car to the pits, has Den, but we didn't quite get that. Let's bring up P8. Fornes currently lapping on his own. He's got some traffic to deal with, but Fischer down into P4. Will Civilotti get past? Let's have a look. Civilotti coming down the start-finish straight. Where's Fischer? He's on the exit. Oh, yep, Civilotti's passed. So Fischer down into P5 now. And I think this is going to be... well, he's going to lose a lot of points in the championship after that drive-through penalty. And oh, Fisterol side by side. Now, a bit of contact between the two. I think that was Fisterol's fault there. Fischer had the inside line. He's exiting the pits, but Fisterol unable to get past. But Fischer going to lose so much points. It was so close going into this round. And well, oh, I forgot to bring up driver of the day voting, but do we have enough time to do that? Yeah, let's bring it up in the final 4 minutes. Oh, I put it in 2 separate messages, but make sure to vote for your drive of the day. 4 minutes left in the race. I put it up a bit late, but oh well. And Jan saying, what is happening here? Yeah, mistake from Fischer, picking up a drive-through penalty. Dave in the back of Kaufman now. That's another battle we've got to watch out for. It's all kicking off here at the end of the race. There's so much action here going on. And it looks like, is that Ivanov in the back of those two? Yes, it is. But Savini, where is he on track? P1 currently. And even he's taking a lot of curb there, but he's losing time. He's a second down on his best lap here. Just goes to show, taking too much curb there isn't really the way to go. And who else were we watching battle? Fischer and Fisterol. So Fischer now pulling away from Fisterol here. But it was a neck and neck when they were exiting. When Fischer exited the pits, it was very close there between the two. But Den lost the car on his own. Was facing pretty much on the exit of the first chicane. You go up the hill. And he was facing perpendicular to the track. So I think for him, probably the wisest thing to return to the garage. He's still going to pick up points where he finishes in P14, as he has completed over 75% on 75% of the race. But we've still got Dave and Kaufman battling for position. Where is Savini still leading the race here? Let's bring this battle up on the big screen. So here we go, these two continuing to battle, and Dave is still with no McLaren logo. But no, that's not. And looks like the camera angles haven't actually been sorted out for the McLaren either. So I think they'll have to get updated because it's only just been released. We've got to give them some time here, but it's getting close here under braking. You see, still not using much curb, which is probably the best thing to do. In fact, Kaufman took quite a lot of curb, and he actually lost time by doing so. Dave really on the back of this yellow Ferrari now. He's really got to put on the pressure, getting the rear out ever so slightly on the exit. But he's not got much time here. This opportunity of P11 slipping away from Dave. Corner after corner. Where is Savini on track? So he's crossing the line. We're going to have one more lap after this. So Dave's got another chance to get past. Kaufman's going to want this race to end as soon as possible. Dave's got the pace to get past him. He is lapping, well, he's stuck behind Kaufman now, so he's not lapping as quick as he was, but 3/10 quicker that last lap nevertheless. You see they're using a bit more curb into turn 1. He's unable to line himself up to get the inside for turn 2 here. What can he do now to get past? Donatas saying join late, influence your choice. I'll leave that to you guys. Your Red Ken saying his driver of the day is the first chicane. Oh, sorry. Is the screen freeze? Steph Jake saying his driver of the day is the first chicane. And oh no! Dave's lost the car! He's facing the wrong way! And there we go, that's it. Kaufman's going to hold on the P11. I was too busy reading the comments, but where is Savini? He's coming up towards the final corner. Will he make this the last lap? Will he wait? Or will he continue? What actually happened there to Dave? Let's have a look. What happened to Dave? He's lost the car quite a few times this race. Did he just try for a move down the inside? Or did he bounce over? Oh, it's a bit of door rubbing between the two actually. And oh, the rear just came out. Looks like the rear on that McLaren quite loose on Dave's car. But yeah, Savini continuing with the race. Let's have a quick look at what happened between these two. Trying to go side by side. Whether look, Kaufman got onto the gravel here. Dave tried to go for the outside. I think this was still Kaufman's corner, and yeah, it was Yeah, I think another racing incident there between the two. 2 into 1 doesn't go into that chicane. That's asking for trouble. Yeah, let's have a quick look at the results so far of the driver of the day. Get your votes in. We've still got this last lap to go. Where is Savini rounding the final corner here to finish P1 here at Zolder. Another lonely drive here for him, but I'm not sure he's going to be too bothered. It's good points for Savini in the championship, and the end goal is the prize. Ivanov is going to round the final corner, giving the rear out for one more time, and he's going to cross P2 here. And oh, is that Pryor crawling across the line? Has he run out of fuel? Has Pryor run out of fuel? I'm not sure. He is going very slowly here. Thomas is going to cross the line in P3. Podium here for Thomas. Not sure if he was expecting that, but yeah, I think Pryor was actually very close to running out of fuel. Dave crosses the line P12 there. Civilotti, where is he? He's going to cross the line in P4. Fisher's going to cross the line in P5. So let's bring up the driver of the day now. Where are the results? And Fisher into the barriers he goes. Yeah, he's not happy with that result. Let's bring up the driver of the day. Actually, we'll get the interviews first, and while we're getting the interviews done, we'll bring up the driver of the day then, just to keep you guys waiting. But there we have it. Savini P1, Ivanov P2, and Thomas P3. We'll be back in just a moment to get some interviews from the top 3, and of course the driver of the day. So make sure to stick with us. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Right, so I watched some of the highlights here. We will bring up the driver of the day. So we have got looks like Fauners with the driver of the day. So congratulations there to him. 5 votes, Ivanov with 2, Thomas with 2, Savini, Dave, and Pryor all with 1. Now we did leave the votes towards the last few minutes, but thanks to all who did vote there towards the end. let's see if we can get some interviews now with the top 3. So, let's bring in... Who are we going to bring in first? Let's have a look. Do we have any interviews? Yeah, we've got Savini, so let's bring over Savini here. There we go, Daniel Savini with a race win at Zolder. Pretty much another lonely race for you at the front. I did expect it to be a bit closer this time round. Obviously, it was very close in the qualifying session, but I mean, good points for you. Fisher unfortunately had a drive-through at the end, so he finished further down, and that gave you well, that's extended your championship lead now.
Yeah, this time I trained a little bit more because I knew it was a crucial point of the championship, and I also wanted the fastest lap, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, this time I was trained a bit more, and I pushed 100% for the first stint, and then in the second one I managed the distance between me and the opponents. I saw Fisher did a mistake, and it's unfortunate for him. I'm not happy about it, but it gives me more space for the upcoming races.
Yeah, it definitely does. Because it's been so close in the championship so far. But yeah, you never know. Still 3 rounds left to go, round 6, 7, and 8. Anything can happen here, and it's going to be down to the line. So we've got Silverstone next round. How do you think that Porsche is going to perform there?
Unfortunately, I can't be there because I will be in the Sim Pro at the Paul Ricard at the SRO.
Yeah.
So yeah, for that one, I think it would have been a really nice race for the Porsche because I think it's the fastest one there. But yeah, unfortunately, I can't do it. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. I don't know where we are going though.
After that, it's Mount Panorama, Bathurst.
Okay, Mount Panorama. Yeah, I think BMW is maybe a little bit faster than the Porsche. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Congratulations on the win anyways, and good luck.
Thank you.
For the SRO.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries. So there we go. We've got, that was Savini there, winning the race. Obviously, races in the SRO, as you know, as you now know, if you didn't know before. We've got Michael Thomas in now. Michael, here we go. P3 for you. I mean, let's talk about qualifying firstly. On the last lap into the last corner, you were 4 tenths up. I think you took a bit too much curb, bounced the car slightly on the exit, and lost you a couple tenths, but that could have been pole for you.
Yeah, it was a bit painful, but at the same time, I was really happy with the lap. It was just, I didn't shift down into first, going into the second to last corner, and it just killed everything. The momentum was just too much, so I had to kind of fight to get it through the final turn. Yeah, lost a tenth, but I think in the grand scheme of things, sometimes you don't kind of want to out-qualify where you should be in the race, because these guys like Savini and even Fisher, they were just so fast. But I think I kind of ended up in the right place, and then got a bit fortunate with Fisher and the DT.
Yeah, but I mean, Zolder, it's quite a hard track to overtake on anyway, so, well, even if you did start in front of them, I think you could have kept them behind for quite a while. Yeah,
potentially. Ifs and buts at this point. I'm just kind of when you see the likes of Savini and the pace that he's got, you know, GG to him, he's just so fast. And then even of Fisher, if they had fought throughout the race, I probably could have been with them. But yeah, just didn't have as much pace as them, I think. But they, you know, they should have that pace. They've been on this game a long time, and they know what they're doing. I was saying on my stream, they know exactly what they're doing. They're just managing everything. So yeah, GG. Yeah,
and I think their car's a bit more suited to Zolder, although the AMG is quite a quick car here. I think they might just have the edge in terms of BOP as well. So yeah, that probably does help them in a way.
Probably. I know the Ferrari's really good through the kind of sweeping corners. The Beamer's really good through the chicane, even though Fisher did bounce it a few times. Merc's kind of like an all-rounder. I just had major understeer a lot of the time, especially when the tyres were going. I don't know if that's a setup thing. I've tried everything, just kind of deal with it. And, you know, P3 at the end is really good. And I think for the championship as well, puts me a bit higher up, closer to these guys, at least on paper.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I mean, podium for you, I think it's going to put you up two positions in the championships. You'll probably be around P5. It's quite a good place to be.
Yep. No, and then there's 3 races left, I believe, so
yeah,
lots can happen. Like I was saying in this race, anything can happen towards the end.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got Silverstone next, which is a brilliant car for the Mercedes as well.
Interesting.
Brilliant track for the Mercedes, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to figure that out because it's been a while since I've been to Silverstone, and I don't believe I've been there in the Merc, so lots of practice. See if we can get closer to the likes of Ivanov, Savini, and keep Civilotti behind. And yeah, if I can be close to Fisher, that's good. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I know BMW, I think back in 1.8 it was really quick there. I haven't really done too much testing with the BM after 1.9, but
yeah, everything's kind of up in the air now, isn't it? Again,
yeah, it is. Yeah, but we'll just have to see, really.
Indeed.
But congrats on the result, and we will see you for next round.
Yep, see you later, man.
See ya. So there we have it, ladies and gents. That's it for round 5 at Zolder for the Trackday Championship. We'll be back live on Sunday for console, actually. 2 divisions there, like usual. But until then, good night, and thanks all for tuning in.